If you've ever loved a woman with your whole heart, truly, selflessly, and without holding back, only to be left confused, hurt, or abandoned, you're not alone. And you're not weak for loving the way you did. You're not foolish for believing in her. You're not broken for giving your best to someone who didn't know how to receive it. But I need you to hear this clearly. Just because she walked away, just because she couldn't love you in the way you needed, doesn't mean you weren't worthy of being loved. There are men out there who love deeply, quietly, fiercely. Men who show up, who stay, who protect, who care, who choose one woman with their whole soul and get left behind. Not because they were too little, but because they were too much for someone who hadn't yet healed. And when that happens, it's easy to turn bitter. It's easy to shut down. It's easy to start believing that maybe love doesn't exist, or worse, that maybe you were never meant for it. But don't let pain become your personality. Don't let her inability to receive your love make you question its value. Some women are not ready for healthy love. Some are still addicted to chaos, still chasing validation, still running from themselves. Some are emotionally guarded. Some haven't learned to trust, and some haven't even begun to heal from what life put them through. So when a good man shows up, she doesn't feel peace. She feels panic. Because real love exposes every part of her that still feels unworthy of it. This isn't about blaming her. It's about understanding why you feel the way you do, and why you should never lower your capacity to love just because someone else couldn't meet it. You are not here to prove yourself to people who can't even see you. You are not a fixer. You are not her rehab. You are a man, and your love is a gift. So don't become cold. Become clear. Protect your energy. Protect your mind. And most of all, protect your heart. Because the right woman won't make you earn her love through pain. She won't punish you for being soft. She won't mistake your patience for weakness. The right woman will see the depth in you and match it. She'll feel safe in your presence, not scared of it. And she'll love you, not because she needs saving, but because she's already whole enough to love you back. This video is for the men who loved deeply and were left without answers. It's time to stop blaming yourself. It's time to understand what really happened. Let's talk about 7 deep psychological reasons why women hurt the men who love them most. Let's get started. Number 1, she doesn't know how to receive safe love. Most women don't grow up surrounded by emotional safety. They grow up surviving chaos. Love to them isn't calm. It's unpredictable. It's the high of being desired and the low of being dismissed. So when a man walks into her life with steady energy, honest intentions, and emotional presence, it doesn't feel like love. It feels foreign, almost threatening. Her nervous system, trained by years of instability, doesn't know how to relax into peace. It only knows how to brace for impact. She's not rejecting the man. She's rejecting the unfamiliar feeling of being truly seen and accepted. She scans his kindness for hidden motives. She waits for him to switch up. She tells herself, this can't be real. Not because he's done anything wrong, but because real love has never stayed long enough for her to trust it. So instead of leaning in, she starts to push away. This is the woman who sabotages the good before it has a chance to grow. Not because she wants to ruin it, but because deep down, she believes she'll be abandoned eventually. And if she ends it first, if she burns it down, at least she's in control of the pain. At least she doesn't have to watch another person walk away. It's not evil. It's not manipulation. It's emotional survival. She's protecting herself from a heartbreak she already thinks is inevitable. She's convinced she's not good enough to keep something real. And that belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. A good man will confuse her, not because he's doing too much, but because he's doing everything she was told men never do. He listens, he shows up, he doesn't run, and it scares her, because love without chaos isn't something she knows how to hold yet. So if she pushes you away, don't take it personally. It's not always about you. Sometimes it's about every wound that came before you. Number 2, you trigger her old wounds without meaning to. When a man shows up fully, open-hearted, honest, consistent, he becomes more than just a partner. He becomes a reflection. And in that reflection, she sees everything she's never healed. Your presence, your love, your stability, they all shine a light on the pain she's buried. Your patience reminds her of the father who was never patient with her. Your kindness reminds her of the love she longed for but never received. Your loyalty reminds her of the betrayal that still echoes in her memory. And all of it hurts, not because you did anything wrong, but because you represent what she's always wanted and never truly believed she deserved. She doesn't know how to hold that mirror without breaking it. So instead of staying close, she distances, she pulls back, she criticizes, she starts fights. Not because she wants to push you away, but because being close to you makes her feel exposed, raw, vulnerable. And that's terrifying for someone who spent years building walls just to feel safe. You become the symbol of everything good she never got. And when good shows up, pain follows, because receiving love means confronting the parts of herself she thought she buried. The little girl inside her that was abandoned, the teenager who got cheated on, the woman who gave her heart and got played. She's not just reacting to you, she's reacting to every unhealed moment you unknowingly stirred up. And that's what makes it so confusing. You love her. You treat her right. You never raised your voice or broke her trust. But somehow, she still shuts down. She still runs. She still questions. And you're left wondering what you did wrong. But the truth is, you didn't do anything wrong. You did something real. And real love forces us to look at ourselves, to feel, to face, to heal. And that's hard when you're not ready. You're not the enemy. You're the mirror. And sometimes, the hardest thing to face is someone who sees you without judgment, because it reminds you how long you've judged yourself. Number 3, she mistakes intensity for love. Some women, especially those shaped by trauma, grow up believing that love must come with emotional chaos. They've been taught, by experience, by pain, by dysfunctional relationships, that love feels like uncertainty, jealousy, chasing, fighting, and making up. The roller coaster becomes familiar. The adrenaline becomes addictive. And the highs and lows, the push and pull, become the standard for what real love is supposed to feel like. So when a man shows up offering peace, presence, and emotional safety, it doesn't register as love. It registers as something's missing. When there's no chaos, no drama, no emotional confusion, she starts to feel empty. Not because the love isn't there, but because it feels unfamiliar. That emptiness is not the absence of love, it's the absence of dysfunction. But her mind, conditioned by pain, interprets it as boredom. So she pulls away. She questions the connection. She wonders where the spark went, when really, what's gone is the anxiety she once relied on to feel alive. She's not doing this on purpose. She's not trying to hurt you. She's reacting to the emotional blueprint that was written for her long before you came into her life. If she hasn't healed it, she may start to crave the thrill again. Not because she wants to suffer, but because suffering feels like home. And without realizing it, She might leave the man who gives her peace in search of the man who gives her emotional intensity, because to her, that intensity still feels like love, even though it never truly was. Real love isn't adrenaline. It's not fear-based. It doesn't make you wonder where you stand. It makes you feel safe, seen, and settled. But until she learns the difference between being excited and being at peace, she'll keep chasing the fire that burns her instead of the warmth that heals her. And the man who gave her peace, he'll be left wondering what he did wrong, when in truth, he did everything right. She just wasn't ready to receive love that didn't hurt. Number 4. She doesn't trust herself to be loved long term. Some women walk through life carrying an unspoken fear that nothing good ever truly lasts. They've been let down, walked out on, and left in silence so many times that they've built a quiet belief inside themselves that love is temporary, that people leave, that good moments fade. So when a man shows up and actually stays, consistently, calmly, genuinely, it shakes her entire world. It doesn't feel comforting. It feels suspicious. It feels like the calm before a storm she's already bracing for. She starts looking for flaws. She questions his intentions. She builds emotional walls, not to push him away, but to protect herself from the heartbreak she's already convinced is coming. She tests him, not out of cruelty, but out of fear. Fear that if she trusts this love too deeply, it will disappear like all the others. It's not about him. It's about the story running in her head, the one that says, "Don't get too close, or you'll get burned." And even when he's doing everything right, even when he proves his presence with actions, not just words, she still keeps a part of herself hidden. Because in her mind, losing love you believed in hurts more than never having it at all. She hurts the one who stays, not because she doesn't love him, but because she doesn't trust herself to be loved without being abandoned. Her fear doesn't show up as distance. It shows up as self-sabotage, as mood swings, as accusations, as withdrawal, all driven by a belief that love is a countdown, not a commitment. And no matter how solid he is, no matter how much he reassures her, if she hasn't healed that inner fear, she'll unconsciously destroy the very thing she's desperate to keep. Not because he's wrong, but because she's scared she'll never be enough to make him stay. So she leaves emotionally before he ever gets the chance. Number 5. She's still carrying the pain of her past relationships. Some women enter new love still bleeding from the old, not because they want to, but because they were never given space, time, or safety to heal. They've been through things they never deserved, lies that shattered their trust, silence that broke their spirit, betrayal that made them question their worth. And even when you show up as a good man, honest, loyal, real, she can't always see you clearly, because the ghosts of her past still live in her heart. She's guarded, not because of you, but because she's been taught that closeness equals danger. She may accuse you of hiding something, not because you are, but because someone else did. She may question your motives, not because you're insincere, but because she's been played before. She may overreact to small things, not because you caused it, but because she's still reacting to old pain you didn't create. And in that moment, you're not just loving her, you're also facing her history. You become the emotional punching bag for men you've never met. And it's not fair, but it happens because she never got the chance to heal in peace, because she was told to move on instead of actually processing the betrayal. And now you're paying for wounds you didn't cause. This is why love, even when pure, can still hurt. because it drags all the unhealed parts of us to the surface. And unless she chooses to confront that pain, unless she decides to stop letting the past control her present, she'll keep sabotaging what's good. She'll keep confusing your loyalty with manipulation, your honesty with a trap, and your consistency with something that's too good to be true. You're not the problem, but you're in the path of her unresolved trauma. And unless she chooses to break that pattern, she'll keep repeating it, no matter how much you love her. Because love doesn't erase pain, healing does. And until she decides to heal, she'll hurt even the ones who would never dream of hurting her. Number 6. She doesn't love herself yet. This is the hardest truth to accept, because it hurts not just her, but you too. A woman who doesn't love herself can't fully receive the love you're trying to give. If she looks in the mirror and sees someone unworthy, broken, or not enough, then your compliments won't feel like truth. They'll feel like lies. Not because you're lying, but because she can't see what you see. When she doubts her own value, she'll doubt the value of your love. She'll constantly question your motives. She'll assume you're going to leave. She'll accuse you of things she's insecure about, not because you've done anything wrong, but because she's battling the voice in her own head. And that voice is louder than your reassurance. You could be patient. You could be consistent. You could show up every single day with your heart wide open, and it still won't be enough if she hasn't done the work to love herself. Your loyalty can't quiet her fears. Your honesty can't erase her self-doubt. She'll test you. She'll pull away. She might even sabotage the relationship, not because she wants to lose you, but because deep down, she doesn't believe she deserves to keep you. That's the tragedy of self-hate. It convinces you that good love must be a setup, a lie, or temporary. And when a woman carries that belief, she'll find reasons to run, even from the man who would never run from her. You can love her deeply. You can be everything she ever needed. But unless she believes she's worthy of that love, she'll never be able to trust it. She has to learn to love herself, not just for you, but for her. Because no relationship can survive when one person is constantly trying to prove someone else's worth to them. That's not love. That's emotional exhaustion, and it's not your job to fix her. It's her journey to heal. Until she chooses that path, even the purest love will feel like a threat. Number 7. She's afraid of losing control. Real love asks for surrender, not weakness, but the willingness to be seen without armor. It asks a woman to drop her defenses, to soften, to trust someone else with her emotions. And for many women, especially those who have been hurt, abandoned, or betrayed, that level of openness feels dangerous. Vulnerability doesn't feel like intimacy. It feels like exposure. It feels like putting her heart back on the battlefield without a shield. So when a man comes into her life with genuine love, stable, strong, dependable, she doesn't always feel safe. She feels like she's losing control. She may have spent years building herself into a fortress of independence. She learned to survive on her own. She learned to protect herself from the kind of pain that once left her shattered. So when love tries to reach her now, it doesn't feel like a gift. It feels like a threat to the identity she's worked so hard to create. The closer he gets, the more naked she feels emotionally. And that exposure, even in the presence of a good man, can trigger fear. In her panic, she may say things she doesn't mean. She may pull away. She may argue, criticize, or distance herself. Not because she doesn't care, but because she's trying to regain a sense of emotional control. She doesn't want to depend on someone. She doesn't want to need anyone. because in her mind, needing someone means giving them the power to destroy her. So she stays guarded. She pushes back. She resists love, even as she silently longs for it. It's not that she doesn't want to be loved. It's that love requires her to be soft, and softness feels unsafe. So she chooses control instead. And in choosing control, she sometimes hurts the very man who would have loved her right. Not out of cruelty, but out of fear. The fear of losing herself in someone else. The fear of getting attached only to be let down. The fear of becoming vulnerable again, only to be broken. So she keeps her distance, not because love isn't there, but because letting it in feels like letting go of everything she's used to keeping her heart safe. If you've been hurt by a woman you loved with everything you had, if you gave her your loyalty, your patience, your softness, and still ended up feeling discarded or misunderstood, don't let that pain turn you bitter. Don't let it kill the parts of you that make your love rare. You don't have to become colder to be stronger. You don't have to build walls so high that no one can reach you. You just have to learn how to protect your peace. Not every woman who hurts you is evil. Many are carrying unhealed wounds. Many are still figuring out how to receive love they never learned to trust. Some are scared, some are guarded, and some are still at war with themselves. That doesn't excuse the pain. That doesn't make it okay. But it does mean it's not always about you. And it definitely doesn't mean you were wrong for loving the way you did. But here's what you must do. Honor yourself. If her love starts to feel like confusion, like inconsistency, like emotional chaos, walk away. You're not here to fix people who don't want to heal. You're not here to bleed for someone else's growth. You are not a placeholder for someone still deciding if they're ready. You are not a test. You are not a lesson. You are a man who loves deeply, and that is your power. So don't dim your light. Just learn where to shine it. Keep your standards. Keep your self-worth. And when you give your love again, let it come from overflow, not desperation. Let it come from wholeness, not the need to be chosen. You deserve love that nurtures, that grounds, that gives back. So don't settle for anything less than emotional safety, mutual effort, and honest connection. Because the right woman will never make you question your worth. She'll remind you of it every single day.